Hey, what is up, Phoenixes? Ross Cessna from Spiritual Phoenix Studios, bringing you a free daily tarot reading. Today's reading is going to be a month ahead reading, and you can even pick a pile, right? So before we get started, we are going to take a deep breath. So to do that, we're going to breathe in through our nose for 8 seconds, hold it for 4, and then breathe out of our mouths for 8 seconds. So let's start by breathing in. And if you feel a little bit better, just drop a like, maybe leave a comment with a thumbs up, whatever's clever. So we have 5 weeks in the month of December, and you can actually pick a number 1 through 5. And that's going to give you maybe a more precise view of what your month is going to look like overall. And then each week might have a different layer for you to pick at. Additionally, you can just take the whole reading as it is. One last thing before we get going with all of this. This is a reading for the general collective. So if it doesn't line up 100%, it's not due to my inaccuracy. I'll never say I'm 100% accurate, but I will say private readings are more accurate. If you'd like to book a month ahead reading, I actually have them in my Etsy shop, amongst other things. I've got something for every price point. Now, with the sales pitch done, let's get into the reading. Week 1. Off the rip, this would be starting next Tuesday. We have the 7 of Wands, or this upcoming Tuesday, I should say. 7s are about faith. Wands are about creation, desire, movement. This is actually about competition and perseverance. Week 1 of December is going to be having to maintain some level of strength. This year has been grueling and grinding and moving into the holidays, which may be fun, but incredibly taxing. We're going to have to push forward. The interesting thing about the representation in this card is it's this person facing this demon. This is kind of like facing your fears, facing your insecurities, working through the uncomfortable points. And if you were a person who picked number 1, this is going to be one of the main themes of your week. But there's actually bonus cards for every one of these too, because we have oracle cards. Core healing comes up. So week 1 is about facing your demons and doing some core healing. There's been an issue that you've been avoiding that needs your attention. You're going to face it, sit with it, and work through it. Additionally, people who picked number 1, that's going to be the theme of your month. Hope that makes sense. Moving on to my week 2 people, or moving on to week 2 or people who picked number 2. I got to find a better way to organize this next time. So you actually had the Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Cups in reverse is generally about being discouraged and unmotivated. So despite maybe facing some of the challenges the first week, there's going to be a moment where maybe you're exhausted by facing some of those challenges. Additionally, if you pick number 2, the general theme might be somewhat being burnt out because of everything going on, right? It's emotional exhaustion. Generally, though, Knight of Cups upright is kind of this ideal romantic partner, very charming, very emotionally present. Maybe not the case week 2 of this month. But nurture comes up. And despite maybe not having that, you're going to need to nurture yourself and make sure you're practicing enough self-care week 2. A lot of us are moving forward. I don't want to say. A lot of us are moving through the holidays. We generally do this, right? Very quick, frantic, trying to make everything come together. With the addition of the financial strain of this year, with the addition of all the extra precautions and emotional exhaustion, chill the F out, nurture yourself, be kind to yourself, grow, heal, expand, right? Week 2 is about maybe slowing down and preparing for the onslaught of Christmas week and all of the things that build up to that. So that's week 2. Week 3, we have 10 of Pentacles. So 10s are about completion. Pentacles are about the material world. 10 of Pentacles is about wealth or establishment. Given the fact that this is probably one of the most expensive times of the year, I don't necessarily think this is about having wealth or money come to you so much as it is appreciating what you do have, realizing how much you have to be thankful for, and doing your best to rise above this gray doldrum attitude down there of saying, this sucks, can't do enough, blah, 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 blah. And actually getting down to the gist of like what the holiday season is about. And it's about love, connection, compassion. It's not really about the material shit. And that's the thing that's cool about this card, because the Ten of Pentacles here is actually about them rising above the material world. And week 3 also has the added benefit of Goddess of Air. So air is relative to the mind or thinking or thoughts in esotericism. Feminine energy in esotericism is generally credited with being more passive and receptive and intuitive. This is saying shut down that like analytical mind, that mind that makes you pick everything apart and makes you miserable. Shut that down. Tap into the subconscious mind and the part of your mind that kind of maybe has some hidden treasures there. I don't even want to say the subconscious mind. A lot of us have work to do in our subconscious mind. Calm down and let your mind rest, I guess, is a big thing. Don't tap into any part of your mind. Don't be mindless, be mindful, but be mindful of how good everything is. Hope that makes sense. That got a little bit cluttered up there. Week 4, you have 7 of Pentacles. 7s are about faith. Pentacles are, again, about the material world. This is about profit, vision, and investment. With this coming around Christmas time, this might even be kind of saying maybe your gift to yourself is investing in your dream. I know that 4 years ago, around Christmas time, is actually when I had gotten my website and really taken a lot of what I'm doing now more seriously. And not saying that's the road for you, but I'm saying that maybe something like that might not be a bad idea. Even if it's investing in a hobby or something that just brings rest and compassion, or just investing and spending time, or reaching out to your family. Maybe spending time isn't possible given everything going on this year, but there's a level of investment. One of the cool things about this card too is there's the ocean in the background right next to the shore. Ocean is relative to, or water, I should say, in esotericism is relative to the emotions, the subconscious, intuition, and then the material world is, or the earth is relative to the material world, earthly desires and animalistic needs, like things that we need to survive. And this is kind of that mystic state of intuition meeting the material world, mysticism and material blending together to give you this wonderful, wonderful experience. Week 4 is also about alchemy. This is when the shift comes, right? When you invest in things that you're passionate about and you commit to it wholeheartedly, that's when the alchemical process begins. Because part of the completion of those desires that you want are going to be challenges that refine you and make you rise to a higher standard. Unless you're incredibly fortunate, which you would unfortunately screw yourself out of all of the growth opportunities. So I don't know. Week 5, the end of December, end of 2020. Thank God. Honestly, I've been incredibly fortunate for 2020. I really can't complain. My heart goes out to everybody who's been severely impacted by all of this, and I don't ever mean to minimize any of it. I've just been really fortunate, and I do have awareness and presence of that. So I'm definitely grateful for it, and my heart goes out to you if it has been challenging for you. You have the Knight of Swords in reverse for our week 5 people. Knight of Swords in reverse is about warpath or aggression, right? There might be some challenges that come up at the end of the month, and it might be more so, let me put it this way, the warpath or aggression might not necessarily be external things that are pissing you off. It might be this recalibration, right? Because this is around the time people start setting New Year's resolutions and all of this stuff, right? And you might be like, I got to do all this stuff to change. Let's see what the other card is before I drop my profound wisdom. Fear comes up. And this is interesting, right? There's this warpath or aggression to overcoming fear. Because a lot of us, how do I want to phrase this? So there's fear of us being where we're at, right? As we begin to set resolutions, a lot of the changes that we hope to make are stemming from, I don't like this where I'm at currently, I would like a different reality, right? So it's somewhat fear-based, somewhat logic-based. But there can also be fear when we begin to change these things that we, how do I want to phrase this? Because we're afraid of staying the same, we make the path forward almost impossible because we're trying to quickly get out of a situation that took an extended period of time to get into. So we're very aggressive and like hostile and trying to push forward, when really what we need to do is be more slow and methodical in planning. My suggestion to you is, if you are going to make a New Year's resolution, maybe change the word to setting a New Year's intention, A. B, maybe make the intention a little bit smaller than you think that it needs to be. And then C, understand that part of setting that intention is actually going to be breaking it at times, and that the real test of your ability to set an intention for the year isn't to do it perfectly every time. It's to be compassionate with yourself when you mess up and actually understand that's part of the process, and that's how you learn, and that's how you consistently ingrain in your mind that maybe this is something that I do need to let go, or maybe this is something that I better need to incorporate into my life. I hope that all of that made sense. This is a little bit different of a reading than I normally give, so it was kind of fun and kind of challenging for me. I like it, right? I like to offer more practical and sensible life advice from tarot, because that's kind of how I perceive it. I view it as a tool for self-reflection, introspection, and personal development, with maybe shades of divination. And divination is different than fortune telling. Whole other topic for another time. At this point, I am rambling, and I hope you enjoy your rest of your day, morning, evening, whenever you might hear this. And if this was helpful, drop a like, leave a comment, and wherever you might hear this, follow, subscribe, like. Peace. Hey, thanks again for checking out my channel. If you haven't already, subscribe by hitting the Phoenix down below, and check out more of my videos over there.